DJI Mini 4 Pro coming this week. Got that coming up next. Bill the Drone Reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night, I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by Mr. Marcus Crawford and Mr. Ron Braun. We spent the better part of the evening discussing all the latest regarding the DJI Mini 4 Pro, including pricing, features, specifications, and whether or not it will be released this week. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. The Mini 4 Pro. Now, first thing, I want to get your thoughts on this, because remember, Asita Lab said, September 15th, he drops that in there.
He did say it was a guess, so he said guess.
He did say it was a guess, and we haven't seen anything. But yet, today's still the 12th. So, the 15th's a couple days away as far as that's concerned. Now, one of the other things, and I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but I've seen the date of the 19th been kicked around.
Well, I mean, we're almost there now, but last week, Igor and other people on Twitter were floating around the 13th, which is tomorrow. But obviously, we haven't got the email from DJI, the teaser email, so it's not going to happen tomorrow. But that was being teased last week, and that looks like that's already bad information, unless the 13th means that tomorrow's the day we get the teaser, because Friday, like you said, Bill, the 15th was the date at one point. So Apple doesn't usually release things on Friday, but what if Apple, they didn't want to get anywhere as close to the Apple event. So for a one time only, they're doing it Friday to put it 3 days away from the Apple iPhone event.
That's entirely.
Hey, all I know is Friday is the day I get to order my new iPhone, Ron.
Yeah, but see, but that's not good for DJI either. When people order their new iPhone 15 Pro with all the bells and whistles, they may not have anything left over for the Mini 4 Pro.
No, it's okay for me. Lauren gave me his credit card number.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but can you pay in Canadian dollars?
Oh, yeah. Canadian money works in the U.S. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to go over this article here that was on Drone DJ. And, because I want to get everybody up to speed here on this, okay? Leaker shares rumored DJI Mini 4 Pro drone prices, okay? Though still not officially acknowledged by DJI, it's come apparent through a series of rich leaks. Mini 4 Pro is en route to stores. Reliable leaker Igor, and let's go here. The company's latest drone hits shelves, timing Bogdanov said the Mini 4 Pro purchase options will run from, now these are Euro 799 to 1129, or about 857 to 1211 US, okay? Referring to a set of leaks on Huawei watches he posted earlier, Bogdanov said DJI Mini 4 Pro 799 euros, DJI Mini 4 Pro with the DJI RC2 999 euros, DJI Mini 4 Pro Flymore combo, DJI RC2 1129 euros.
Now let me stop you right there, Bill. If these prices convert over the U.S. approximately real close, how do you feel about these prices?
As far as that's concerned, now, I'll answer that in 1 second here, Ron. Okay, and here's the back of the box with the specs: 249 grams, omnidirectional, obstacle sensing, 4K, 100 frames per second, 48 megapixel, vertical shooting, 34-minute flight, and 20 kilometer. Okay.
And the 20 kilometers is new. The Mini 3 Pro did 12 kilometers, so that's probably OcuSync 4.
It's OcuSync 4, exactly. Assuming U.S. pricing is $799, $999, $1129, that's not far from Mini 3 Pro's current MSRP, $759, $999, $1109. Hoping this gets the new stacked CMOS sensor in the Air 3 and uses existing M3 batteries, not forcing people to get M4 specific ones. Okay?
We talked about that, didn't we, Ron? That'd be awesome. If we could still use our Mini 3 batteries in the Mini 4, then I don't know. I don't think I would get the Flymore kit then.
Right. I would get the, I would say I may not be getting the Mini 4 Pro, but if I can get if I can get it for $799 and already have the Flymore kit, I may change my tune.
Right.
Yeah, and and that makes a whole lot of sense, okay, in keeping your Mini 3 Pro, because if those batteries are compatible with that, you don't need to get a Flymore kit, like you said.
Well, what you can do, all you gotta do is just get the regular one, sell your Mini 3 Pro off as a non-Flymore kit, and just put one battery in. You'll still have 3 batteries or whatever. Just throw a battery in there, and you're good to go.
Exactly.
Sell it without any batteries. Tell whoever buys it, buy your own battery.
Yeah, but I want to sell it. I want to sell it in this decade, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now what do you guys think of those specs that were up there on the box? Okay?
Bill, before anybody says anything, I've got to alert my phone. We got a incremental drone update warning here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus and I talked about this. They say, yeah, I think it does kind of fall on the incremental thing. But I mean, I see Marcus' point too. But here's the point I think we have to represent, though. There's a whole bunch of people out there in the community, probably in the chat tonight, that owned the Mini 2 or Mini 3, Pro, any Mini 3, and they finally took the leap and upgraded to the Air 3 this summer, right? So how are you going to convince those people that just took the step up a month ago to the Air 3 from the Mini series to go back again to a mini drone?
Well, here's the thing, and I want to say this, okay? It had been such I'll say a pretty good gap between the Air 2S and the Air 3, okay? There's been, in the difference between the Air 2S and the Air 3, it's a pretty big difference, okay? And I think we'll all admit that, okay? It's significant here. And I know I saw Maddie and some other people said, the difference between the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro, incremental, okay? We're not seeing a great deal of improvements here with that. So I think you're going to have a hard time convincing these Mini 3 Pro folks to go over and jump and get a Mini 4 Pro. That's just my
now. If you're flying a Mini 1, or something like that, it's not incremental.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Marcus. Can I play
Marcus?
Can I play the devil's advocate here?
Yes.
So I have come to know and love 360 obstacle avoidance. It allows me to do things with my drones that I have never, ever been able to do, particularly when it's become as reliable as it is now with the Air 3 and with the Mavic 3. So now that it's available on that mini drone, hey, I'm not going to be afraid to fly down the Boise River with trees, kind of tunneling over the top of the river in places, and afraid that my drone is going to go, that I might rise up into something or, hit a stray branch that's coming across or whatever. I think that is a bigger deal than what you guys are giving it credit for. Now, I understand if you never fly in any kind of low down close quarters, no big deal to you. The other thing is that OcuSync 4, for the exact same reason. Often if I'm flying through the trees or something, that is a tough environment. And the further that I can get with that drone, and we've all seen how good OcuSync 4 is with the Air 3. And then third, I'm going to hang my hat on, and of course I've beat this to death, so you guys have all heard it before, but for the UK and Canada, I think there's a lot of people that really want all those features, those same features that we get on a Mavic or the Air 3. They want them on a mini drone because it gets them underneath a lot of the regulatory issues.
That's a good point, Marcus.
Good point. Yeah.
Maddie brought up a real
I'm taking people like Bill and I who just upgraded to the Air 3. We have all that stuff with their Air 3. We took the plunge a month ago. We have all those features, and I'm not going to Europe anytime soon. When I do, I'll pick up the Mini 4 Pro.
Well,
you might go to Canada, Ron.
Matty brought up a good point in the chat, and one of the things he's saying that this is probably more geared for like a Mini 2 type person, who is looking to upgrade, and that will be, as he said in the chat, Matty, I kind of paraphrasing, that is a big deal. Okay. Yep. That is a significant improvement.
So totally agree with what you're saying, Bill. In other words, it's the same thing, and I bet Ron will agree with this too. A lot of people with their phones, you don't necessarily buy the new Samsung phone every year, Bill.
Absolutely.
You get it, and when there's enough of a change, 2 or 3 years, that's when you update to the new one. So just exactly the same thing. Somebody's had the Mini 2 and they thought, well, geez, I want some more of those 60 frames per second and all that other stuff that's on a pro level drone, and they're the ones that'll make the jump. And there's a ton of Mini 2 flyers out there.
Right. And also I totally agree. The 360 obstacle one omnidirectional, sorry, it is great. Works great in the Air 3. Probably gonna work great in the Mini 4 Pro. But there's a lot of people out there that say, well, I like Richard. I don't use obstacle avoidance, so I turn it off. A lot of people say that they don't even use obstacle, but that they like to fly without it on. So there's a lot of factors going in that not these features are good features, but not everybody uses these features.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ron. I guess what I'm saying though is, I like flying all different places, and so I like that feature I like to have and not need than to need and not have.
Yeah, and of course your statement comes not from your use case where you have many drones that already have this feature. You're presenting from a scenario that's your only drone,
right?
And that makes more sense too. But for us to have a kind of a host of drones, if I want to do that type of flying, I'll just get the drone out. Because I mean, we haven't seen the Mini 4 Pro yet, but I'm going to take a guess that the Air 3 is probably going to be a better drone in every way.
Oh, absolutely.
Except for size.
Yeah, of course. Other than size, I like the way you phrase that, though, Ron. A host of drones. That's an excellent turn of phrase.
Host of drones. Yeah. A couple of people have posted here, and I want to talk about this for a second. Greg Pittman did, and I think Richard did, about having a fan in the Mini 4 Pro, because the one thing that I did notice, like with the Mini 3 Pro, I'm going out flying and I'm in between takes. I'm shooting the second video.
Yeah.
And while I'm shooting the second video, I didn't shut the Mini 3 Pro off.
Yeah.
Well, because it's taking me time to get set up for my next video. It's hot. It's not that it's not just hot, but it shuts down because in order for the Mini 3 Pro to cool down, it's a drone that's designed to move through the air. That's how it cools down. Well, both Richard and I think Greg Pittman had said, what about a fan for the Mini 4 Pro? And here's my take on that. Okay. Anything that's going to add weight for this drone is really, it's not going to happen. It's not in DJI.
That's where I was going with it.
It won't have a fan. It won't.
Yeah.
And I have had my Mini 3 Pro shut down on me. It was one time, and I was dumb. It was about a 95-degree day, and I was dumb enough to let it sitting on the landing pad for, I don't know, a long time. And when that sucker shuts down, it is not kidding. It gives you a little thing on the screen that says, goodbye, I'm out of here. Boom, and it's off.
Yeah, but a good point you're talking about land pad. That won't happen when you're flying a drone in the air. The air will cool down as you're flying the drone.
Right.
It's and you really, I mean, why do you want to keep a drone running on the ground for a long time? You're just using battery for no reason.
Yeah, in my case, it was a mistake, right? And now the legit thing though, Ron, is firmware updates. So if you're leaving it sit there, but what I would say is just get a little fan and put it on.
That's exactly, Marcus. That's exactly what I did. I have it on my desk, and I have a real small 9-inch fan. I turn it down on there, and I never had an issue with it overheating during a firmware update because I kept it cool, and there was never a problem with that.
So, well, I got another one for you. Of course, when you first got it, did your first firmware update, I had the, I don't know if it shut down, but I had it getting real hot on it. But that first firmware update corrected that overheating issue. I've never had it overheat on a firmware update on the desktop.
So Richard's got a comment there about the Nano has a fan. You're right, Richard. The Nano has a fan. I've got a really nice one that I'll trade you for your Mini 3 Pro if you want.
Yeah, and also that fan's a real whiny thing. The first time I did a firmware update with the Nano, I had to sit in the counter. Susan said, "What's that whining noise?" It's a terrible whining noise the little Nano makes, Bill, or whatever. You're trying to stay quiet, and this thing's making more noise than your big drones.
Yeah,
so, it has a fan, but it could drive the household crazy with it.
Because Autel can't do the kind of good thermal engineering that DJI does.
Oh, but the whole thing here, as far as this is concerned, okay. These drones are not designed to sit, okay?
Right.
A camera is not designed to sit on your desk, okay? It's to go out and take pictures with. A car is not designed to sit in a garage. It's to take you from point A to point B. Same thing with your drone. Your drone is designed to fly. It's not to sit there and look pretty, okay? So, yeah, it does need to move, okay? and I get it, and I understand that, and that's a limitation to live with. Okay, I don't have a problem with that limitation at
Hey,
all.
Bill, Marcus's old Hero 10 would overheat a lot faster than his Mini 3, right?
Boy, oh boy, isn't that a fact? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the other things that I wanted to bring up here is OcuSync 4 with this. Okay, and we looked, that it's going to have a better range with this drone, which is fantastic. I think that's a great thing. All right. More range is always better. But the thing that I look for, and I know a lot of guys go ape over, having all kind of range and stuff, and I'm not going to say BVLOS or anything like that. Okay, but what I am going to say is, when I go out there, for example, when I was flying last weekend with the Air 3, the one thing that I noticed, okay, and it's at the 2 points the two furthest points that I fly, that signal was like 4 out of 4, both areas, okay, but one of the times I had my back turned to it. In other words, the antennas weren't facing in that direction, and I still had that 4 out of 4 signal. So the thing for me is not so much the distance, okay, the range, but it's that signal strength, okay? I'm getting a rock solid signal from that, and that's something that I look for.
Bill, how much do you think of that is OcuSync 4, and how much is the antennas built on the new RCS2?
Both. I think it's both.
Let me tell you what, guys. Here's when you will appreciate OcuSync, and whether it's OcuSync Original 2, 3, or 4. Yesterday, I flew I flew a Hubsan drone, and I flew a Fimi drone. And let me tell you, that's when you appreciate OcuSync on DJI. They just don't. You're not even that far away, and you start seeing the FPV screen break up, and it'll blank out and go into return to home. I mean, we just, I just be glad we have OcuSync on our DJI drones. Let me add though, Autel's system is every bit as good as OcuSync. I believe too.
Yeah. Hey, Marcus, Lauren's inviting you to move to Canada.
I saw that. Yeah,
up there.
Yeah.
No problem.
And so what Lauren is saying in Canada is true, but I think that's without getting people freaked out here. One of the things that I think remote ID is going to get us is, especially if you're Part 1, I'm sure if you're Part 107, you'll be able to get approval for beyond visual line of sight, or what they call extended visual line of sight.
Yeah. Well, okay. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about here is the camera itself, and I would say this is probably the area where I know we've seen a lot of people saying, I think this is where it's incrementally better. Okay, we're not taking a quantum leap from the Mini 3 Pro to the Mini 4 Pro in terms of the camera specs and the capabilities. Okay,
unless they stack it.
Right, unless they stack it. Now that's a good point. And I know somebody put in the comments they have a feeling they're not going to stack this. Okay, and see, I'm kind of debating about that. One of the things, excuse me, one of the things I don't think what makes a difference is stacking it. I don't think anything like that is going to add a considerable amount of weight to that drone. Okay, I think it's really negligible in terms of the weight as far as stacking that processor is concerned. So could it happen? Yeah, I think it could. And if it happens, that's a game changer. Okay, that would definitely be a reason.
And we won't really know until the drone's actually out, because they don't tell you even on the Air 3 that there's stacked on the side of the box. So that won't come out until it's actually in the hands of users. Yeah,
well, it's like when we were on for the premiere day of the Air 3 and Dobo was on, and Dobo told us, it's stacked. Okay, that's the reason we knew that, because it wasn't on the box.
Because he talked to somebody. It's not in this. Yeah, you can't go to the website and find that out either.
Right, you can't find that out on the website. You can't find that out on the box. But then you talk to somebody like Ken, and he'll tell you that.
And you look at the video off the first time you fly it, and you go, "Wow, that looks really crisp."
Something
really
going on here.
Yeah. Hey, Ron, you're our camera guy, and with regard, and this is, I'm kind of relating this to what we're seeing on the drones. I watched the Apple event today, and one of the things that they did on their Pro Max is they have a 5 times optical zoom on one of those lenses, and you think, okay, well, how did they do that? Well, because you got a flat little phone. How do you get an optical 5x optical zoom on that? Ron, you're used to seeing big long lenses and stuff. They did it with prisms, which it sounds to me like a little bit of genius. So that's how they're getting that focal length. Are we going to see that with drones? I'm throwing that at both of you guys.
Yeah, I guess the drone companies would be smart to try to copy that technology, but maybe they would wait to see how it works out over the next couple of months for Apple. But I think Apple had people were calling that some kind of a buzzword that like a nickname for the technology you're talking about, but I can't think of what it was now. But
yeah, I haven't heard that.
I mean, of course, it always looked good in the Apple demo, but I'll be anxious to see how it looks good when real people get it in their hands, what kind of shots they can get with it.
Well, I did all the pre-work, Ron, so on Friday we'll find out. Or
I gotta say this. I watched the event too, just to digress for a second. I watched the Apple event too. It's the first time I've watched one for a while, and I was impressed how they did it. Okay, I thought they did a real good job in terms of its presentation. But for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it that much of a jump from the 14? I mean, really?
Three things: USB-C.
Right, I do know that.
Incremental changes, particularly on the Pro Plus. I think that 5 times, at least the way I use the phone on this thing, I use the telephoto on this guy all the time. So the 5x telephoto is going to be a big deal to me. I don't know if it's so important, but when they change the multifunction button that they put right here, those are incremental things.
Yeah, now Bill, it's an incremental, but they've all been. You have to go all the way back to the 10. That's the last one that wasn't an incremental update. Yeah, get the faster processor chip. I mean,
that's right. They upgraded the chip.
The USB-C port. I mean, I do wireless charging. I've been wireless charging, for a while now. So I don't even plug in anymore. So no big deal.
And here this is and I'm going to kind of parallel this with the Mini 4 Pro that we're talking about here. Okay, if you skip a couple of models, then it is a significant update. Okay, like if your last update was say a 12, all right, and you're getting a 15, that's a big deal. That's a big leap here. Okay, but if you had a 14 and you're getting a 15, not so much. Okay, it's the same thing here with the Mini 4 Pro to the and the Mini 3 Pro. Okay, the differences here, but I think one of the big things is there are some unknowns. Of course, we're going to guess it does have OcuSync 4. So in somewhat in terms, that is a big deal, but we don't know about the stacked sensors, which we'll probably find out on launch day when that happens from somebody maybe like Ken or Billy or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, but the camera, as far as the camera is concerned, which I think a lot of people care about, it's only incremental. We're not seeing a real big quantum leap in terms of the capabilities of the camera from the Mini 3 Pro to the Mini 4 Pro.
Yeah, I mean, Bill, you make a good point. I mean, we're definitely not going to see a 1-inch sensor, and since even the Air Series doesn't even get a 1-inch sensor, why would the lesser drone get it or whatever?
Let me throw this at you, and so the Mini 3, the biggest defect that I have seen on the Mini 3 Pro, and they've improved it a lot with firmware updates, but the autofocus has been pretty wonky at different times, and especially if you're shooting in 4K 60 and the higher frame rate. Yeah. And my guess is it's using more computing power to do that. So will the Mini 4 have a faster CPU and be able to do those kind of things smoother and better?
That's a good call that you found with the 60 frames. Because I rarely shoot 60, so I haven't really come across the issue. To me, Bill, you already covered the biggest improvement the Mini 3 series needs is that OcuSync 4 and in combination with the controller, because the Mini 3 Pro definitely loses signal bars quicker than any of my other current DJI drones. I mean, you don't have to have it that far away and you see it dropping bars or whatever. I mean, that's the one where you need to be pointing. So that, and it was a lot of lag in that controller between the Mini 3. It was more lag than I've seen in my other current DJI drones.
So Ron, I am blaming that, I think, a little bit on the DJI RC because a couple of things, just what you've described, I've seen the laggy screen, and there is no question. I totally agree with you. It had the worst range. In fact, I did kind of a I don't know if you'd call it a range test, but I was shooting through the trees, and I had the Mini 2 versus the Mini 3 Pro, and range wise, they were identical. I was using the RC-N1 that has the antenna on it, and then the DJI RC, obviously, with the Mini 3 Pro. And the Mini 3 Pro didn't get any further than the Mini 2 did. So
and some people even said Mini 2's better, but I've tested them. I mean, I've tested in like a situation where I'm standing there directly at them, nothing's in my way, or whatever, and I got slightly better with the Mini 3 Pro, just slightly better, and that's in real just. I'm standing on top of a dune, and it's 100 feet in the air. I'm standing directly pointing it at both drones.
So, Ron, do you blame that on the controller, more on the controller than whatever?
The lack of antennas.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a 50-50 too. Lack of antennas, and I think they have in the Mini 3 Pro, at least, not the Mini 3, because they moved the antennas. But the Mini 3 Pro has the antennas, like in the middle of the front arms, rather than his feet, because it doesn't have that.
Which is why they changed it on the Mini 3. God, I forgot about that. Ron.
So I think it's lack of antennas on the controller, and plus bad placement of the antennas inside the drone itself. So some of that got corrected with the Mini 3, like we said. Hopefully that's all corrected with the Mini 4, and maybe we'll see Air 3 like performance from the Mini 4 if the antennas are placed properly in the drone.
That's an excellent point, Ron, because, with those antennas on there, okay, like on the Air 3, okay, my signal strength is just up through the roof, okay, and I'm still going past 1,200 feet, 1,400 feet, and that signal strength is 4 out of 4, not skipping a beat in terms of the feedback from the view or anything like that. One of the other things I wanted to cover here, before we wrap things up is, okay, I want to cover the pricing again. I know we talked about it initially, and we looked at the comparison between the Mini 3 Pro and supposedly what the Mini 4 Pro is, and it looks to be about the same. Okay, I want to get you guys' thoughts as far as pricing.
I mean, the base kit looks like it's a $50 upgrade, which I think is a more reasonable price bump than with the Air 3. Got a pretty significant price bumper. This is just not only is it incremental tech upgrade, but it's an incremental price upgrade too. So that's good when the incremental is the price.
Marcus, what are your thoughts?
I mean, me, I'm gonna jump probably no matter what, because I just want to be able to experience it.
Right, but if we want to see a drone be a success, especially the mini series of drones, because a lot of people got into mini drones because of the pricing.
You're absolutely
people
right.
That bought the Mini 1, Mini 2, they didn't care. I mean, the U.S. people, they didn't care less about 250 grams, none of that, anything. The only thing that meant anything to them was that price. It was sub $500 or whatever. But now we've moved way past that price point now, and I think we still have people that haven't upgraded because the Mini 3 is no longer the bargain drone.
Let me expand on that just a touch, Ron, because I think you're spot on. Anybody in the chat that are new to drones and they're thinking about buying a new DJI drone, you know what the best value is right now? Go buy an Air 2S Fly More combo, and you've got almost all the features that we have pretty close in the newer drones. For just a screaming deal. I think Ron's making a great point. I love having the latest and greatest, but that isn't what it takes to go out there and have fun and take great video.
Now I want to answer Richard's question. There's nothing has shown anything about purchasing the drone only, Richard.
Everything that we've seen. 6 months at least, Bill. Before that,
at least that. Now, I put out an informal poll today on my community tab on YouTube. Overwhelmingly, people said that they're not going to buy a Mini 4 Pro. Okay, I mean, it was like
they said the same thing about the Air 3, and everybody we know has one now, Bill.
Yeah, I know, and it kind of drives me crazy. I put the same poll out on Twitter, and it was a little bit different results on Twitter as far as that's concerned. It seemed more people were actually thinking about buying a Mini 4 Pro. But one of the things that I wanted to say here is, okay, now I had, at least the 5th weekend in a row I've been out flying, which for me, I'll tell you, it is like Bill Thomas says, drone therapy. Okay. It's fantastic. I got to say this, guys, unequivocally. Okay. Out of all the drones I've owned, and I'm talking, I'm going back to the Mavic Pro, the Spark, the Mavic Air, the Air 2, the Air 2S, the Mini 3, Mini 3 Pro, the Mini 2, all that. Okay. Every DJI drone that I've had, I've been pleased with, but I'll tell you what, I have absolutely fallen in love with the Air 3. I don't think I have ever personally had a better DJI drone. Okay. It does everything. It does it well. Precision landing. Okay. That's something we haven't really even brought up or talked about. Okay. It's been spot on. Every single landing I've had with that on the mat, not even off the mat. I mean, it is just, it does everything. It does it well. And the video I get back from that. I mean, and I'm not even messing around with any, with balance or anything or it's fantastic. I mean, I shot a video this weekend of our fountain and I got in pretty close. Okay. It was just absolutely amazing how the colors popped out, and I didn't touch a thing. No ND filters,
no color grading.
No color grading, nothing.
Bill, can I back you up here? Dollar for dollar, pound for pound, the Air 3 may be the best DJI drone out there.
I agree with you, Ron. I agree. So I'm going to throw the $60,000 question. I think I know how you both will answer, but and I'm going to go to Ron first. Mini 4 Pro, are you going to hit the buy button?
I just got the Air 3. It's all the drone I need.
Marcus?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Of course. And I'm gonna concur with Ron. Okay. I have the Air 3 right now. And question of the day: what did you think of the DJI Mini 4 Pro? Will it be released this week? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.